And the first item on the agenda is the monthly report of the sheriff for the month of March.
I'll make a motion.
Bob? I'll second. Greg? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Second is approval of renewal of contract with Long Lake to provide E911 services.
Did you go to number 4?
Yes, I did. Pardon me. That's okay. No, we'll go to number 2. I hope.
You had some.
Use of the firing range by outside agencies. Sheriff? You want to address that? I know there's been requests and we have some agreements in place.
Yes, we have some agreements in place. So we have agreements in place for every agency except for the Village of Ilion that their attorneys wouldn't let us sign that agreement. And we've just hand-delivered letters to each agency, asked who wants to participate in the range this year, and ask them what they need so we can work with their schedules a little bit better. Okay. Thank you.
I had asked if there was is there a standard agreement between the agencies, or is it unique to the municipality?
The agreement that we have with each agency is a standard agreement with each agency that it's a model agreement after Whitesboro's range usage, because we had to sign one when our people go to the police academy, when they go to the range. We had to sign an agreement with Whitestown to use their range. So, and that's when our attorney said we should have one with everyone else that are not county employees.
One of the comments that came up when the sheriff was away and we were discussing this was whether we are requiring our local police agencies when they use it, and this is in the agreement or it's a requirement, that a county employee from the sheriff's department must be present when the range is being used. Is that accurate, or do we not require that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we do require that because there are things that we have to police at the range for safety and uses of the range. We have to keep track of everything that goes on up there. So we do have one of our instructors that helps their instructors and partners with the other agencies. And we have other instructors from other agencies when we're up there.
Mr. Chairman, if the question comes up, and there's been some comments made from some in the law enforcement community, that having that requirement can restrict when they can use it because it's not necessarily convenient, and the sheriff might have staff to send up. The fact that they're law enforcement people, I guess I'm trying to understand with the municipal agreement, with the standard, I would imagine, insurance riders and things, why that is required uniformly, that we have to pay staff to be up there to supervise that, which is, you know, if the local law enforcement people are qualified. Could we consider an appeal process, perhaps, from municipalities suggesting that they have qualified staff, but that's something our attorney believes we shouldn't do?
Well, I'd ask the attorney to comment on that, but I'm thinking that we have a liability, it's our range.
Well, if they indemnify us, why do we have to take staff time?
Sometimes doesn't work out always.
What, insurance?
It's quite frankly not a legal question, but a policy question, and we rely on the expertise of the sheriff and his firearms people to determine what's necessary to protect the interests of the county.
I would ask
Mr. Chairman, it's our responsibility, it's my responsibility to control what happens at the range. And that's why we do it that way. That's why it's always been done that way. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the way it's going to continue. Now, if Mrs. Rose would like to disclose who that person is that has the issue, I'd be more than happy to sit down and discuss it with them.
I'm reluctant to do that, but I'm wondering what, as we allow municipalities to use it, because we certainly heard in one meeting when the sheriff wasn't here, that there are municipalities that are leaving our area to go to Whitesboro, perhaps, to use the range. Is it possible to quantify the cost we have so that we can say to municipalities, this is what we're expending for your use? And because there must be costs associated to the county with the range, having staff there.
Mr. Chairman, the purpose of us sharing instructors with other police agencies is so that it works out good for everyone. We give them an instructor, they give us an instructor. The cost equals out.
Mr. Chairman, I would go tit for tat on this. I think the bottom line for me is, if we have municipalities that have to take their personnel to qualify and why they need to use the firing range, why they need the firing range, I can appreciate if there's a quid pro quo, gee, we want to use it on Saturday, and can you send up an instructor to help our people on this, and we'll do this for you. That's one issue. But if we're routinely requiring that we have to pay staff to go to the firing range, to train, and to be there to witness the use of the property and that the property is not abused, we should know what those costs are. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think just to say that it's been done that way. We know things have sometimes been historically done in other places, and it's not necessarily the best measure.
Well, I think he explained it to Wash, because every time our people go up, we have instructors from other agencies up there with our people too. So it's kind of a wash. You're sending an instructor.
Well, so if a person doesn't need, if an agency doesn't need an instructor, we're us to send one, we're requiring that we send somebody from the sheriff's office. Is it always an instructor from the sheriff's office that goes?
I think it would be wise to ask.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we do have a sergeant that's in charge of the range, and he's the one that we normally send up. We do have another part-time instructor, two other part-time instructors that work for the sheriff's office that we do send up. It's always worked that way. It's always worked out very well. There's certain things that we have to do, that we have to make sure is done, and you can't let people go up there. We get complaints from neighbors when they start shooting on weekends and they start shooting on nights. I'm the one that gets the calls.
I think it's just more logistics than anything else, and I think you've addressed it by sending the letters out and working with the departments.
Just one more thing. If it ever results in overtime, can we be properly advised?
Mr. Chairman, we set this schedule up in the spring. The Little Falls police agencies have not used our range in a few years because they feel it's just as acceptable to go to the East Herkimer Fish and Game Club. When they want to, they can go there and shoot up there. Alien doesn't use our range anymore because they won't sign the agreement. All the other agencies, we have federal probation that comes there. The courts didn't come last year because we weren't sure about what was going to happen to the range last year. These other agencies never have a problem. So I don't know who the agency is that has the problem, but we do it with the state, we do it with the federals, and we do it with other local agencies. And it works out just fine.
Thank you. This was a FYI anyways. Bob?
I make a motion that we approve this with one stipulation, that is that we stick to having the signed agreements. If they haven't signed, they don't use it. That's all. And that's what we have right now. Signed agreements, or they don't use it.
Continuing to say, Bob.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I would like a copy of that agreement be provided to me, please.
Okay.
Anyone, if it's a standard agreement,
Do I have a
anyone will be
second?
fine.
Do we need one?
Well,
What you're basically doing then is endorsing the sheriff's policy.
correct.
Second.
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 3, jail physician contract. Would suggest maybe we go into executive session or something like that.
I'll make a motion.
The rest of us first, we'll do that last. Okay.
Just to be nice.
Do it last?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys don't mind.
Yep.
Why are you going into executive session?
We're not yet, right
Approval
now,
of
yet.
Contract with Long Lake to provide E911 services.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Bob? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You asked about conflict.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Just the fact,
Give us an overview.
I believe in 2008, we entered into an agreement with Long Lake. At that time, we identified about 645 phone lines, and we charged per month per line. The call volume for Long Lake has stayed steady, might have gone down just a little bit. We actually answer less than 100 calls a year for Long Lake. And some of them actually come from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department to us to dispatch out Racket Lake Fire or ambulance. So everything has stayed steady. And like I said, we have stuck with the 645 phone lines. That's the summer volume of phone lines, so that's the max. Other than that, it's everything's pretty standard up there. It's not a lot of work for us, but it's, we still have to maintain communications and everything else with them up there.
This also incorporates Old Forge's mutual aid response capability, correct?
Well, it's that whole group up there. They all work together.
Right. So that's the reason we really got into it.
And if you compare,
Is inlet involved too, Town of Inlet?
well, that's what I was just going to mention. I know I've had a question comparing the agreement with Long Lake and the agreement with Inlet. We do a lot more with Inlet. That volume is over 400 calls a year. We also, because we also do their police in Long Lake, all we do with police is refer the calls to Ray Brooks State Police. Hamilton County Sheriff doesn't want the calls from up there, too far from their office, so we give them up to Ray Brooks. With Inlet, who has their own police department, we have to track the police department when people are on duty, off duty, so it's a lot more workload for us for Inlet than it is for Racket, and that's the difference in the fees that they pay.
Thanks, Bob.
I just think, Bob, thank you for reaching out, several years ago. I think it's a great shared service between two counties. You're providing a service that they probably wouldn't have or would have to reach out to someone else. So thanks for doing that.
From what I hear, they're very happy with the service.
Absolutely. That's what I hear to say.
Well, Bob, we do this on our side, and then Fulton County does the other side?
Actually, there's a number of counties. Fulton does some, Essex does the other side of Long Lake, and actually over in Warren, they do some too. So.
Great, thank you.
What's the length of the contract?
5 years.
5 years.
The new.
Thank you.
Approved contract with DEC for use of towers.
Actually, I only brought it up as an informational. There's nothing to be approved at this point. DEC through the Forest Rangers have requested to put an antenna and a repeater at our Dairy Hill site. I have not discussed with them any agreement yet. I mentioned there would have to be an agreement. They have done all the required studies for interference and structural on the tower. Everything is okay. Right now, over the next month, I'll be discussing with the county administrator and public safety, how you want to handle the agreement. There are some things that I'm researching at the state level. There's some guidance in the grants that if you accept communications money, you must allow sharing with other government agencies at your sites. So I'm looking into that to see what we can do with an agreement. And so far, DEC has been very good to work with. Well, we're just, discussing this and doing some planning. And they've offered in the future that there may be some availability of, things that the county could use on the state level that they have. So right now, it's just a point of information to get discussion going.
Thank you. Authorized agreement with New York State for 911 share data.
The SAM agreement is an agreement which I've actually had for a while, been trying to do some research on it, because the agreement is just basically a one-page, very short agreement. I was doing extra research, and what it is the state is attempting to create a statewide 911 addressing database. Some of the problems that I had with it in the beginning is, does it create a standard that we'll have to follow and actually create an expense for the county in the future? Also, when we received the agreement, I had no listed databases. We use various databases at 911. There was no databases listed on the agreement. So over time, we've been looking into it. At this point, I would recommend signing it, because discussions with the State Office of Technology yesterday, there is an opt-out. If at any time we want to get out of the agreement, we can opt out. So that's the key. So I would recommend, signing the agreement this time. I don't believe that Attorney Malone has had a chance to see the agreement yet. So we will get that to him. And there's associated information that he will need to see beyond just the agreement, because the agreement is, like I said, very short. So I will provide all the information that you need to look at it.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do you need a motion to incorporate the towers too? Did you get one on the towers with DEC?
It's FOIA.
That was just a
Okay.
FYI.
Okay.
This is just to continue the study.
Authorizes the
No,
agreement.
this is to share the data.
This is to share the data.
With an opt-out that Bob doesn't feel
With an
comfortable,
opt-out.
he can get out.
Okay.
And it'll be subject to the review of the attorney.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Authorized agreement to join with 10 counties to interoperable communications consortium.
A few years back, the state suggested that each county join a alliance or consortium for public safety communications with other counties. We have looked at joining with various counties, various groups. We looked at the southern tier, the Catskill tier, which we actually did informally get into. However, their vision, their plan did not fit our needs. We've talked to Oneida County. They decided to join up with the Syracuse region, which is what they're doing out there is way beyond anything we could ever do in this county as far as monetarily. You're talking Madison County spent over $25 million on their radio system. Onondaga spent over $36 million. And now they're finding that the maintenance alone, maintenance on the system alone is approaching half $500,000 a year for Madison County. And, it's really become a burden on the counties because originally everybody thought that this would be all funded by the state, and it hasn't turned out that way. They've gotten a very small portion of that multi-million-dollar system back. So, in researching the consortiums available to us, we've identified the Adirondack Consortium, which is made up of, if we join, it will be 10 counties. And their vision is more in tune with what we would need here, what we view for the future here. The beginning is just creating a network between the counties to connect all the radio systems. It's not changing anybody's radio system. It's not telling any one county what they should have for a radio system. It's just creating interconnected sites, interconnected 911 centers for that 10-county region. And I believe that this consortium, right now with the counties involved, Saratoga, Warren, Clinton, they stand the best chance of any of them of being funded. If you look at, their political structure and, the technology that they've been working on, they're working closely with the state. They're close to Albany. I was at a meeting on Wednesday up in Warren County at the Sheriff's Office. A lot of state officials were there, and you don't see that at the other consortiums. State police were there. Really, I think this is the best for this county, and without being actively involved in a consortium, we stand almost no chance of getting any of the interoperability money that's out there. A single county just isn't going to get funded unless you join these consortiums with the state. I mean, face it, the state tried to build out a radio system back 10 years ago and failed, so now they're trying to get the counties to do it. And this is the way they're doing it. So I would highly recommend joining, this consortium. I know that Hamilton County, which we work with, is involved, and I know Jim has talked to the supervisor up there. And this does not commit any funding from Herkimer County. The only thing it says is if we do get grant funding, it must be used for the purpose set forward in the agreement with the consortium.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Any discussion?
No expenditure of county funds at all.
Just, the
With
only,
vision.
any other discussion?
Is it possible to get an opt-out clause if for some reason it doesn't turn out the way we plan it?
How flexible is that, Bob? If we join now, I mean, if something worked out down the line where, they were to basically say redistrict or something like that.
Again, the MOU is pretty basic. I believe I would refer to, if Mr. Malone has reviewed it yet. I'm not sure if you have or not, but.
I was doing something else.
Okay. The MOU for the consortium, I don't know if you've reviewed it yet or not.
No, I haven't seen that. I don't know if I put it on one of my assistants' desks or not, but I'll take a look at it.
But, I mean, the bottom line is, the consortium can't force any county to do anything. They have no legal standing to force a county to create expenditures. I mean, the only thing we could do if we did opt out is not get funded through a grant.
Okay, so that would be,
the outcome.
we can opt out though.
Oh, definitely. They can't force any county to do
I think
anything.
that's what Bob
I mean, if you look at Hamilton County is in it with 5,000 year-round residents. I mean, they're not going to invest millions of dollars into a system. They're just riding on the back of the consortium like we will be, to get the grant funding just to do, and there's a little map that they give. All it is a connection of sites through microwave or fiber. Right now, that's the bottom line. But again, they can't force any one county to do anything.
Yeah. It's just that you have to belong to get the funding.
Right.
Okay.
This includes the sheriff's radios too?
This is all public safety.
All public safety?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, now we'll go to jail physician contract, and I would ask for executive session.
Motion.
For the reason of employment of a particular person or corporation.
Excuse me, is this to talk about the current contract that we have?
No.
It's not to talk about the negotiations on contract? I guess I want more clear reason why we're going into executive session.
Yeah, the matters of appointment of a
We'll be
jail.
discussing a particular individual.
Particular individual.
Motion.
Motion, Jim, second? Furniture? Yeah. Yes.
We had an opportunity, we were contacted by an organization that's targeting sheriff's offices for free desks, file cabinets and things like that. It's coming out of PepsiCo Corporation in White Plains, and I think we worked our way through how to get the furniture here. I was in Albany in a meeting yesterday, and I happened to go to Albany County Sheriff's Office and actually look at some of the furniture, and it is what they say it is. It's an old furniture, it's wood furniture, there's desks, and there's file cabinets, and we had an opportunity to pick up chairs. So we've been talking about it, and I sent the information over to Mr. Malone so he could review it. We got a price on shipping, having a local company go get it and bring it back, but it was pretty high. It was between $5,500 and $7,000. So the company, Anew it's called, they said they would see what they could do to get the furniture here. They came with, I think, $2,500, but they also said at the time they would contact PepsiCo Corporation to see if they would help ship it here. So we were looking at paying the $2,500 to get the furniture here. But PepsiCo's going to pick up the transporting cost. So now it's not going to cost us anything to get it here. Obviously, we have to have personnel unload it, and we have to have a place to store it. It's no furniture, it's very high-end furniture. Desks, I put in for 36 desks, 48 wooden file cabinets, and 20 chairs. I don't know how much we're getting, what we're getting, but we need a place to store it when it gets here. We need personnel to unload it. They won't unload it. I looked at the stuff at Albany County yesterday, and some of it gets damaged in shipping, but it's very, very high-end furniture.
You pick it out, Chris? You go down there and pick it out?
No, I just
They
told them what they
send you-
wanted. Yeah. So we're getting U-shaped desks, units. And obviously, I asked for 36 because some of them will get damaged, so you gotta have some spoilage. And it's an opportunity for us to upgrade our furniture. We have desks now that when I came here, we went up to the college, there were things that the college was gonna throw away, and that's what we're using. That was 10 years ago.
That's what we all use. I use,
Yeah.
all up here is 50 years old, state
Yeah.
furniture.
Yeah.
It's the stuff the states will win.
But Mr. Wallace's office, the girls in here purchasing, I think,
We give
Mr. Jones, all of ours over there in our office would all be replaced. So
Are they giving it to the county, or is it something that's earmarked for public safety?
it's earmarked for sheriff's offices. That's what they targeted sheriff's offices because sheriff's offices do a lot for the community and county, and this is a way for them to get that.
You're saying there's no final shipping cost if PepsiCo's picking it up?
PepsiCo's gonna pay for the shipping here.
So there's no cost
Yeah.
actually?
Bernie called them yesterday, and they said they would work on that for us, and they informed Bernie yesterday that PepsiCo's gonna pick up the cost.
And what do we do with what we take out, and we have just to dispose of it?
Selling,
We have a sale.
I want to take this opportunity to thank you, Chris. I know you worked on it for quite a while, and we went from 5,000 to 7,000 shipping to nothing, and a lot of new stuff, but we appreciate it.
And I would say one desk is probably 6,000 maybe, that high-end furniture.
Is this furniture too big to fit in this room to be assigned in the new jail, in the new building?
I do not believe so.
Have you got a story?
No, we don't need a motion, this is,
I don't know what Bernie's worked out for storage on it yet. When I get done here today, I'm going over to the basement, see how much room he's got, but I might have another idea for temporary until we can get it in place.
How about the volunteers? So what time do you want us here?
we'll have staff submitting, no volunteers, we'll have staff.
Okay.
Workers' comp.
All right, Kathy.
Chris, do you have anything else?
Yes, we're also notified, as you know, school resource officers are a hot topic, and I've got schools that they've been calling me, and we were notified from Mr. Hanna's office last week that there is a COPS grant available, and so there's it's called CORE, Herkimer County, BOCES, there's a little consortium there that's together working on the grant for us. They've met with me. We have 4 schools, and we had a meeting on it, Mr. Wallace and I, at BOCES. How long ago was that?
3 months ago?
Yeah, right after seeing you. And I think Mr. Wallace explained to them that we just don't have the money to do this. And so it's a $125,000 grant stretched out over 3 years. It's a normal COPS grant. The grant covers 75% of the personnel, and I believe the schools are going to pick up the rest of it, so it's no cost to the county. We have to hire people. We might have to establish a couple more positions. But we have to determine anything that's, and I've told the schools, and they've called me, that if you want to cover all the costs that isn't covered by the grant, then, I'll pursue it and bring it to the legislature for their approval. Right now, we're not even sure we're going to get this grant. All we're looking for is approval to apply for the grant.
motion? Bob, second?
Second.
Discussion, Helen?
I I wonder, is this for the sheriff's department, have staff to go into the schools? Is that what we're talking about?
We would be, there's 4 schools that would like to have us, and we've also included some of the other municipalities, whoever wanted to participate, are included on the grant.
Do we know the 4 schools?
There would be OC's, Mount Markham, Poland, and West Canada.
So these are schools that don't have local municipal police.
Those are their schools?
Yes, we're not doing any schools, and we were pretty, we were upfront about that at the beginning when we met. We said, local police agencies, they know their schools, they're the ones that should be doing their schools.
And they would be included, Chris.
They would be,
I know I'm echoing it again.
yeah, and
If
they
they
would
want
be,
to participate, they can.
anyone that wants to, any school that wants to participate, who has a municipal police agency, are able to participate in this grant. And the reason why we're doing it that way is because it's a task force type of application, and we think that the grant would be more successful the more people we have involved.
A Little Falls didn't show any?
I'm not sure if Little Falls is involved or not.
Chris, I heard they're very interested, and they're very interested in working with the city police.
Okay, that would be great.
And that was my conversation with Mark about
Yeah, OC's has contacted the school systems to see who wants to.
They reached out to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, we wanted to make sure that happened.
So the employee, they would be hired by the county, for those municipalities, those 4. They would be hired by the county. The grant would 100% fund all aspects of it, and should the grant fall short, the individual school system pick up the difference?
Correct.
And who do they pay? Do they pay us? Reimburse
Yes.
us?
That would pay
Well, for
us.
most of the expenses, I'm sure there'll be some expenses at the school that they'll have to.
Yeah, well, obviously, and we were very adamant about that, the schools want to do it.
Do we expect it to just be a personal service cost and anything else? Was that vehicles and all that, or is it vehicles?
I've already started to see how much it would cost us to outfit each officer. There'll be training involved, our insurance. There's things that have to be put together yet to come up with a final cost, but any school that I've talked to so far, it is what it is. And there's this is a 3-year grant, and then there's a 12-month continuance after the grant, as part of the grant. There are things that, if there's a big financial problem, then you can opt out. The schools would have to also pick up the 12th year, or the 4th year part of the grant for 12 months.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Todd? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?